I swear to God, I swear to everything I love that the United States had nothing to do. They didn't broker anything. It's only the Israeli military realized they are being beat. The soldiers are taking a beating. The Israeli coward soldiers are not able to fight face to face on the ground. They're not. They're not built for that. You understand? They are not built to fight face to face with them. So they say, listen, we already killed, like he said, the senior leaders. Let's come out with that W and leave before we get a bigger L than we're getting right now. It is what it is, and that is the truth.
The fighting across the Lebanese-Israeli border will end.
All right.
Will end.
Yeah.
This
will
is
end. Will
designed to
end.
be a permanent cessation of hostilities.
No way. It's not permanent.
What is left of Hezbollah and other terrorist organizations will not be allowed, well, I emphasize, will not be allowed to threaten the security of Israel again. Over the next 60 days, the Lebanese army and state security forces will deploy and take control of their own territory once again. Hezbollah terrorist infrastructure in southern Lebanon will not be allowed to be rebuilt.
Yeah.
And over the next 60 days, Israel will gradually withdraw its remaining forces. And civilians on both sides will soon be able to safely return to their communities and begin to rebuild their homes,
It's not going to work.
schools, their farms, their businesses, and their very lives.
All right.
We're determined this conflict will not be just another cycle of violence. And so the United States, with the full support of France and our other allies, has pledged to work with Israel and Lebanon to ensure that this arrangement is.
All right, get on my face. You didn't do shit. You didn't do no ceasefire. You didn't even know what was going on. If you were able to do ceasefire or broker anything, you'll have brokered a ceasefire inside in Gaza, where it's really needed, where people are dying every day. Every day, 40, 50 people are getting killed in Gaza. Because, like I showed you, the Iron Wall theory is you have to kill the native population. The problem with what's going on in Lebanon, the Israeli soldiers, they're cowards. They can't fight in the trenches, like in the Vietnam-style war or an Afghanistan-style war. And they can't fight. They only do is they use overwhelming force, kill civilians, destroy civilian homes, a collective punishment of the civilian populations in order to squeeze concussions, I don't know, one of those words, from the military on the ground, because they know they cannot win in a regular war. Let's go to someone more. This is what's this?
A new military aid package.
This is the weapons that we've been given to Israel. Okay.
The Pentagon has quietly ramped up weapons shipments that are headed for Israel. And I say quietly because there are some transparency concerns, with the Biden White House under pressure to disclose the extent of its deliveries to Congress.
Air defense and artillery rocket system, tanks, infantry fighting vehicles, helicopters, unmanned aerial systems. That is just some of the U.S.
Israeli military general said that Israel will not have lasted 3 weeks with Hamas if the United States did not do a bridge of weaponry from Europe and the United States to Israel. 24 hours a day, weapons were coming in, and munition, especially munition, they will not last. That's why that guy, Dvorsky, said either you're going to have a strong, your own garrison of strength, or a borrowed one. That means the United States is a borrowed gun to continue the colonization.
Military assistance provided to Ukraine. A detailed list of weapons is released with every new military aid package for Kyiv. Why is Washington not doing the same with weapons for Israel?
We are providing assistance to Israel through very different mechanisms than how we provide assistance to Ukraine. And the funding mechanisms and how we're supplying aid, it's two different countries, two different wars, and again, two different areas of responsibilities.
The Biden administration faces pressure to disclose the extent of U.S. arms in Israel, at least to Congress. In the national security funding requested to Congress, the White House included an exemption for aid to Israel, citing the country's urgent need. The request includes the authority to waive congressional notification requirements, something Washington never requested for Ukraine.
To waive American law.
This means the Israeli government would be able to purchase billions in military articles and services in complete secrecy. Israel is the world's largest cumulative recipient of US aid, and support for Israel's security has been a cornerstone of American foreign policy. But with Israel's intense bombing of the Gaza Strip, scrutiny on the role the US is playing is also increasing.
It is absolutely critical that Congress is able to review, to have transparency on all of the weapons that are going, so that it can determine,
anything but Israel,
as it appropriates funds to taxpayer funds, frankly, to continue to buy these weapons that they're used for, the urgent defense needs, but that are not used in ways that contravene U.S. laws, policies, or international law on waging war.
As accusations grow that the U.S. government is not complying with its conventional arms transfer policy, some Democrats are talking of conditioning future U.S. military aid to Israel. If that happens, the pressure on President Biden to take a more critical look at America's military support for Israel will only increase.
I'll pull in now Clayton Allen. He's director for the United States at Eurasia Group and joins me from Washington, D.C. Clayton, it's good to have you with us tonight. What do you think is behind this double standard? Arms to Ukraine are publicly declared, military assistance to Israel shrouded in secrecy.
First, thank you for having me. I think that the difference here has less to do with Israel and more to do with Ukraine, actually.
You heard what shut up. The guy is just, we are secretly sending weapons to Israel to bypass congressional approval, which by law, Congress has to approve any licenses of weapons to any state in the world. And Israel is violating the United States law by using weapons against civilian targets and killing men and women and children. And we have something called the Leahy law, whatever it's called, that forbids the transfer of any more weapons to any country in the world that uses America's weapons to destroy civilian infrastructures and to kill men and women and children. It counts for everybody except, guess what, Israel, because Israel has a stranglehold on the United States diplomat and diplomacy and internal politics, and it just we're Israel's bitch. Let me just put it that way. America is Israel's bitch. Okay, I mean, let's be honest with each other here.
Ukrainian aid is extraordinary. It was all supplemental funding requests, standalone bills that go beyond normal baseline funding, and it's been relatively politically sensitive. Republicans, both members of Congress and Republican voters, have been somewhat skeptical of the need for ongoing very high levels of U.S. aid, and as the war in Ukraine has continued on, that's led to very high levels of transparency in what exactly is being sent.
Okay.
That's more to mollify domestic political concerns. The practice of not disclosing specific military aid or amounts of armament being sent to Israel is actually a continuation of relatively long-standing U.S. policy. So I'd highlight the political sensitivity around approving or even sustaining